G'day folks, Ben from Snowy's here today showing you how to set up this Dometic Pico FTC 1x1 TC air pole swag.
Hit it.
This is a polycotton canvas swag with an integrated inflatable mat and air pole system that makes setup really easily done with a single pump. Hold up gang, don't forget, we have got a lot more content like this on our YouTube channel, so make sure you like and subscribe down below and you'll get all of our latest and greatest content. Let's jump back into the product. So we've ducked down to the park at the end of the street from our Adelaide store here today because we want to set up this Dometic swag for you. Dometic call it a tent in some places, but it is a Dometic Pico FTC 1x1 TC swag. It's a one-person inflatable swag with an integrated mattress. It comes in this carry bag here with some backpack straps so you can carry it to and from camp nice and easily. The pump and everything's all included inside here, and it weighs about 9.5 kilos. That's what I measured it at. I think Dometic say 8.5. About 60 centimeters in length and about 25 centimeters in height and depth there. Showing you how to set it up today, so we'll start with what comes in the bag. Okay, so we've unpacked everything. Now this here is our swag, mat, everything, all the fabric for the extra shelter is all contained within one there, and that's all secured with a couple of straps here, so we'll put them aside so we don't lose them. We get enough pegs to set it up, and they're reasonable pegs for the size of the shelter. They're pretty good pegs for this kit here. A couple of aluminium upright awning poles in here, adjustable, so that you can set the awning up at the front of the swag. And you get your pump. Now this has been set up before, this swag, so the pump usually comes packaged up a little bit more, but these are the parts that it comes, it all comes disassembled like this when you buy the swag. So this is the main portion of the pump, and then you get the handle on top here, which has got the valve in there as well. Now this just screws on the top here. You've got this thread here, and this just screws onto here. Now you don't want to over tighten this, it's just plastic on aluminium, so just tighten it so that it's firm. And this can actually just stay on top there once that's set up. You've got the base. Now this is easily added and removed to the pump, so if you want to roll this up inside the swag, you can take this off and lay it sideways, but otherwise this just screws on the bottom like this to create our upright pump. And then you've got your hose with various attachments on here. We only need one attachment on that one that's already in there to assemble the swag, but you have got other attachments there so you can use it for other inflatable devices as well. This just screws onto the side of the pump here. Now, I found that it's probably better to take this off a pack up so you don't sort of bend this, but it is easily attached and removed. Now, to set the swag up, the first thing we want to do is spread this out and peg the corners in place. Just think about the orientation. There's a door only on one side of the swag, so I've got the door facing this way. We come to the corners here, and we've got peg points in these little triangles. So I'm going to put 4 pegs in place. I've got a hammer with me today, so just push these in as far as we can. When you peg these, try to have this at sort of 45 degrees. So I've got a 90-degree angle here, and then that coming out at 45 degrees. So don't pull the next one too tight. You just want it so that it sits neatly at 45 degrees here as well without tightening the other one. Put those 4 in place, and then we can grab our pump. So we've got it secured to the ground with the 4 pegs. We can now grab our pump and pump it up. Now there's 2 valves. One valve, this one's got this tag on it, but the one that's lower down on the tent, on the swag, sorry, is for the mat inside. So we'll do that after we've inflated the frame. Now the valve, has 2 parts to it. Got a cap over the top and then a one-way valve in this section here. So to pump it up, we need this outer section screwed into place. That's what you remove to be able to deflate it quickly. So screw that in, and what that means is we're able to pump air into this valve, and when we take the pump out, it's not going to let air escape. So we put this fitting in place. These are easily attached in the end here, like this. That just inserts into the valve there. Just push it firmly so it doesn't pull out. And we can then stand the pump up and start to use it. Now this pump inflates on the downstroke, not on the upstroke. And it has this valve here. So ideal inflation for the poles or the frame is 7 to 9 psi, so in the green zone. Now the only issue with this pump is it doesn't stay there. So you pump it, it goes up, and as soon as you release it, it comes back down again. So you just need to watch where this needle is pointing as you're pumping, and when it starts to point in the green zone, once you've finished the downstroke, you're at the right PSI, you can stop pumping and remove the pump from the tent. You might find that it's not standing up by itself, just needs a little bit of a hand. So I'm almost at the right pressure now, but I'm just gonna lean over and pull the frame so it pops into place. A couple more pumps to make sure I'm at about 9 psi and we're done. So we are all pumped up. That's all we need, easy as that. That was probably about, I lost count, 25, 30 pumps maybe to get this set up. We can now just pull this out. Because there's a little one-way valve in there, air's not going to escape, but put the cap on just to secure it all so that even if a very slow leak through the valve occurs, that's going to secure it all. And then you can kind of protect the valve a bit with this little cover here. There's just little push studs there. So if we just push them together, it's a little bit awkward. Push them together. That's just protected that valve there. Now, second thing is to come around to the other valve at the base here. Once again, screw the middle section into the main port that goes into the tent there. We can attach our pump again, and we're only going to pump the mat to about 2 psi. We're not going to go any higher than that. So don't go up to the green zone with the mat. Now, before I go too far with the mat, I'm just going to have a look inside here and make sure that it's not twisted at all. We don't want the mat to be twisted while we're trying to pump it. So that's laying pretty flat. There's no twists in the valve at the end here or in the input port at the end here. So I can keep going until I've reached 2 psi. Okay, we're at 2 psi, mat's all pumped up. We can pull the pump out of the valve here. Once again, one-way valve in there so the air doesn't escape. Put the cap on and just put the little sort of dust protective cover over the top of it. Stop it from getting caught on anything or damaged at all. We can now move to putting the guy ropes out, which are all integrated. So to set these up, all we need is one peg through this section here. Peg this out at a 45-degree angle. And then we can tighten this and that pulls this little storm flap up over the windows at the end. So we've got 4 guy ropes in now. These are all integrated, makes it really easy. There's no trying to find guy ropes and these webbing straps mean they don't get tangled up. So that's the tent setup. We could use it like that if we liked, or the swag, so I keep calling it a tent. We could use it like this if we want to zip that closed. We've got a weather protected space. Furthermore, we can set up the front as a weather protected awning. Now you do get extra guy ropes with a tent that look like this. There should be another one in the bag here. Same thing, just webbing straps. This goes over the top of the pole here. We can peg this pole out with the guy rope here, and the pole just goes through the brass eyelets on this doorway here. So we can peg this out like this, extend the poles out, and create a weather protected entrance to the swag. So I've just tensioned those guy ropes a little bit. I set this up so that it's sloping to the back towards the tent there. Because these poles are adjustable, you can slope it back down the other way as well. But that's how to set up the Dometic Pico FTC 1x1 TC swag. All done really easy by myself, really quick. Those air poles make it super quick to set up and really easy to pack up as well, which is what we're going to do now. The pack up of the Pico swag is really easy. First thing we're going to do is take the awning down, and then we can let the air out of the frame. Now, for setup or for pack up, I'm going to leave this just hanging loose. We want air to escape, so as we roll the swag up, all the air can escape. And I'm also going to leave this zipped up. So I didn't mention it in setup, but it's best to have this zipped up when you peg the swag out, so that the fabric or the kind of the orientation, the tension of the pegs and the guy ropes is all right. So leave this zipped up so it's ready to go for pack up, for setup, sorry, next time. Now we can let the air out of the poles now. So first thing I'm going to do the mat though. So I'm going to come around to this side here. If I undo this end valve here, nothing's going to happen because we've got a little one-way valve inside there. So I actually need to take this whole section out, and you'll hear, so now the mat's deflated, I'm going to deflate the frame. Once again, if I undo this, you can see nothing's going to happen because of the little one-way valve, so we need to undo this second section here. So as soon as I undo it, air's starting to escape now, but in a very second, all the air is going to rush out and the swag will just collapse to the ground. Quite a bit of pressure coming out that valve there. If you stand behind it, you can feel a good whoosh coming past you. So I'll just sort of flatten this fabric out here on top now, and I can then take all the pegs out and roll the swag up. So I've got my poles and things like this, and I'm going to roll that up inside the swag, and I'm going to fold it in half. And when we roll it, we need to make sure we roll towards the valve. So the valves are at that end of the tent, the swag, sorry. If we roll this way, all the air inside the mat and the poles are going to come up here and they're going to have nowhere to escape. So I'm going to roll up the poles inside of the swag here. pegs inside the swag too, and I'm even going to roll up the pump inside. So I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to take the base off actually. I'll unscrew that and leave it separate like that and roll it up and see how we go. This one here, I guess we could just tuck in like this if we liked. Let's see how we go doing that. So that gives us a good base to roll with. If you tuck all these guy ropes in before you start rolling, it makes it nice and neat as well. I'll just start rolling that up. Rolling everything up inside the swag like this also protects it while it's in transit. We'll keep going. I can hear the last bit of this air escaping out there now. We grab our straps, secure this around here, and we can put it back in the bag. Okay, now this bag is nice and oversized. Well, it's a good size really. So that fits really easily back inside there. I had no effort really trying to roll that up. It could be rolled tighter if I liked, but that fit really easily inside. There's a couple of compression straps over the top here. Tighten them up if we like to secure it all, stuff it moving around inside the bag so that when you use the backpack straps on here to carry it, it's not all swaying around in your bag, on your back. That is how to set up and pack away the Dometic Pico FTC 1x1 TC air pole inflatable swag with an integrated mattress. I reckon it's an awesome solution. So much more compact than other swags on the market. This is like a third of the size of many swags, half of some of even the most compact ones. So a great option if you want that swag experience but don't have the space, capacity in your vehicle or transport to carry a really big swag. If you've got any questions, let us know down in the comments below. Otherwise, you can check them out online at snowies.com.au where you find them at our lowest prices every day.